All right. This is a prophecy updates outside lesson as of April. Yep, as of April the 20th, 2026 on this Monday afternoon. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and his unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Those are the two names in ancient Paleo Hebrew, the lost tongue, and I said Barakathon, to the elders and apostles who are Akim, Akwaf, and I say Shalom. So as I mentioned again, this is a outside lesson of the prophecy updates as of April 20th, 2026 on this Monday afternoon. And as Nero 47, he's kind of desperate for a peace talk. Now he got these other countries talking about there's going to be full peace and middle peace. There's going to be different pieces over there in different parts of the world and all that. I mean, what they got to do with Iran if they don't make their demands. And then there was another news article close to the situation. They were saying that even though Pakistan talking about, they still confident that Iran on their side they're going to meet and have those peace talks. How the way things are looking right now, it seems like Iran is not going to trust them. The most likely scenario, which I mentioned it already, seemed like they might not join that peace talks, and if they do, they might not fully not agree to a deal. So any proposal that the United States desperately trying to do, Iran seem like they're not going to feel it. So that shows that hey, these tensions are still going to heat up between Iran and the United States. So hey, best believe the battle of Strait of Hormuz is going to continue to heat up once again as this deadline passes of the ceasefire can expire between both sides of Iran and the United States. So you had I spoke about that yesterday about the Israel Defense Force. They prepared to because they got some type of ceremony that's going on, some type of memorial ceremony, because you have a silent train over there, some type of memorial, and they was speaking about that the war between them and Iran's not over yet. And so Nero 47, much as he trying to push forth these peace talks, trying to make this proposal having having Europe and these different European nations and these over there in the Middle East trying to push forth a ceasefire. Hey, the most likely scenario, they're not going to agree to that deal. So, hey, so tension between both sides of Iran, the United States, and Israel, all these three nations, they still got this going on. That's what they see. Hey, so this is what you call wars and rumors of wars. And this is Matthew's 24th chapter. We got to Matthew chapter 24, and verse 6. It says, "We shall hear wars and rumors of wars." By some we hear wars and rumors of wars. He says, "Hello from Russia," and hello from, if you're an Israelite, I say shalom to you. Because you do got Israelites that is gathered over there as well too. That's small room. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, that you not suffer for all these things, no first come to pass, but things like that." Right, so we're going to see things like wars and rumors of wars. It's going to come to pass, but not going to end shit. And this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." And the tension between Iran and the United States, they're going to heat back up once again. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." It says there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in various places. So just like we've seen that major 7.7 earthquake over there in Japan, and so we're going to be seeing these famines and pestilence plagues, nation against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. So all that's going to continue to increase. So I'm going to get back to the news articles once again. Yeah, get back to those news articles, Salakia. So let's get back to these news articles once again. Get back to the world news. See like the connection. Yeah, it seemed like the connection. That Star Plus connection kind of going on and off. So that is something. So I'm gonna go through I'm just gonna follow. So I'm gonna follow through the spirit. This is so I'm gonna follow through the spirit. Go through the spirit. Matthew's 24:6. Once again, you should hear on wars, rumors wars, especially with the recent tensions to be heated up between North Korea versus South Korea and the United States. As he has all these especially as a big tension in the national groups and it's the agricultural groups because most likely these are both watchmen unto Yahweh Shai. We're keeping our eyes close. And we're keeping our spiritual eye close in that situation with the battle of Western groups. And this is going to expire Wednesday. So these next 2 days is kind of critical for the United States to see what decision they're going to make, even though they've been having these recent proposals from Iran. See, like Iran is not fully accepted it, and that's a good thing. Hey, so while you have Bashman shot, hey, so let these tensions continue to heat back up between Iran and the United States. Hey, let it continue to go. Hey, while you have Bashman shot. This is Matthew's chapter 24 and verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So these are wars, rumors of wars, legal wars, war, evil, and pestilence. Hey, these is the beginning of sorrows, which are going to continue to increase. And so those tensions between Iran and the United States is going to potentially heat up once again. Once that ceasefire is up on Wednesday, hey, once the ceasefire is up over there in Lebanon, hey, best believe these tensions, these escalations, tensions are going to heat up between these nations, and that's what we're seeing. And this is the book of Luke 21, verse 25. It says, there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity of war. Right, so we see the nations are in perplexity and distress, which is only going to continue to increase. And that's what we see in our world today. This is the book of Second Edges, chapter 9 and verse 3. Because you're going to have more increase in protests, you're going to have more upwards of people, and that's what we're seeing. And so, just like I spoke about the United Arab Emirates, Arab countries that support the allies of the United States, they might initially petro about it, and they're going to use the alternatives. So that shows you that they start seeing Russia hate the war, like this 17 or 16, and start seeing these nations on rise against Second Edges chapter 9, verse 3, it says, therefore men should be seeing earthquakes upwards through the world. Right, so just like I mentioned, that magnitude of a 7.7 earthquake hit over in the eastern shores of Japan, and then they've been having aftershocks of it. I believe this is like the largest earthquake that they had since 2011 in Japan. That was a large earthquake hit over there in that area, 7.7. And so best believe we're going to see more of these high magnitude of earthquakes in diverse places, because these are the signs that the Heavenly Father spoke about from the days before the even beginning. So I'm going to start at verse 1. This is Second Edges chapter 9 verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure out the time diligently in itself, without seals the parts of the signs past, which I had told you before. Right, so how we measure the times, we watch out for these signs, biblical signs that the Heavenly Father showing us on a daily basis. It says, Second Edges chapter 9 verse 2. It says, then thou shalt understand it is a very same time where in the highest, which the Heavenly Father Yahweh will begin to visit the world which you made. So we start to see the Heavenly Father begin to visit this world which you made. He's showing us these modern day plain beginning and powerful works and the effects of signs. He's showing us these like conditions like tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides, floodings, famines, pests, plagues, etc. We're seeing the continue to increase. And these war, evil, and pestilence that we see in the world today is going to continue to increase. And this is Second Edges chapter 9 verse 3. Therefore, we should be seeing earthquakes, more and more earthquakes on a daily basis, and the upwards people world, right? So more and more the upwards people world. Second Edges chapter 9 verse 4. It says, then thou shalt understand it is a very same time where the highest will begin. It says, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High Yahweh spake of these things from the days of before the evil beginning. Right? So Heavenly Father spoke about these very important signs from the days of before the evil beginning. So that's indicated that we're living in signs and times. Second Edges 9 verse 5, for like all this made the world had been against manifested. Right? So the biblical signs are being manifested all the end times and all the end times. So that's all the takes increase. Second Edges chapter 9 verse 6, one of the apocryphal books of the Holy Scripture reads. It says that even so times also the highest, which the Heavenly Father had been beginning and powerful works and then effects signs. Right, so on a daily basis, we're seeing more and more powerful works and then effects signs by the Heavenly Father and how he's only got something. Second Edges, so we need that there. And this is Second Edges chapter 15. And we have Second Edges chapter 15 verse 15. Of the sword and the destruction. Yeah, this is the book of Second Edges chapter 15 and verse 15. It says, for the sword of destruction to our mind, and one people should stand up and fight this the sword stand, right? So one people should stand up and fight this the sword stand. So that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. And this is our destruction. Second Kings 15:16, but there shall be sufficient one men to better one another. They shall not regard their kings or their princes, and the West actually stand in power, right? So we see more protests, more uprisings, more upwards with war on a daily basis. This is verse 17. It says, a man should desire to go into a city, should be able to, right? So it's going to be a time when a man should desire to go into a city, should be able to. It's a time so we bring out that Jeremiah 28 verse 8, because he's a war, evil, and pestilence, and will continue to increase. And just like I mentioned, yeah, you got some celebrity you got, and he got charged with murder, intentionally presenting involved in the case of the Northern Kingdom system. And so that shows you that we're going to see maybe waxing cold, we're going to see these war, evil, and pestilence. We're not looking at the time this is the that's not the case. And it was that Genesis 6 verse 5, it was on 19 about to man, that's what I'm saying. That's Jeremiah. Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8. It says the prophets that had before thee and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. So while we're prophesying against great countries and great kingdoms, we're prophesying against prophesying about war, evil, and pestilence, and that's what we see in our world today. And this is Jeremiah chapter 20. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 9. It says that the prophet was prophesied peace, and when the word of the prophet should come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh should sent. And so the Heavenly Father has surely sent the prophets out in ancient times, and now he's surely sent them out in these modern times. Because these prophecies, they still going to come to pass and be fulfilled. And this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. Yeah, we're about that book of Habakkuk. And this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, and I will stand upon my watches and upon the tower, and I will watch the sea when I shall answer when I answer you, and I shall answer my group. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. And about Yahweh answer and say, right, the preacher make a plain on the table, that he may run the roof of right, that man that run the roof and speak unto the house of Israel. Second, Habakkuk 2 verse 3. For the vision shall be put in time, and they shall speak not lie to wait for it, because it should come on terrible. And so these are prophecies, are not terrible. These are biblical signs, these are prophecies that the Heavenly Father is showing us, and this only begotten Son, and we're about to hold the prophecy. And so these prophecies, they're not going to go on void, because the words of the Heavenly Father doesn't go on void. Like he says in Isaiah, this is, let me read that again, Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. For the vision shall be put in time, and they shall speak not lie to wait for it, because it should come on terrible. And so these are prophecies that they are not terrible, because they're going to come to pass and fulfill. And this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time of every purpose in heaven. Right, so there is a time, seasons, and every purpose in heaven. So we are in these modern day times and seasons. All these biblical signs and prophecies are increasing. Especially the tensions are heating up over there in Western Asia, throughout that whole region. It's going to heat back up once again. And we're seeing all these signs, and we're seeing in our world today. We're seeing these tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides, floods, flames, pest plagues, etc. War, pestilence. We're seeing the mark of the beast prophecy come to pass. We're seeing the famine of war come to pass, be fulfilled. And we're about to enter in these times, these prophecies that are going to come to pass, fulfilled. Because you got these modern day believers trying to have business and deliverance. That's not what the case. Because the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24 says, the earth is given to the hands of wicked. He come to face them, judge their worth, if not work with his. Because the earth is ruled by the wicked. Because he had a short time work. So the Heavenly Father's going to knock off the wicked off his course. Because the whole world is ruled by righteous grace afterwards. The rules that lead to earth and not wickedness and righteous grace. So that's why we're seeing these prophecies unfolding. So we're in those modern day times and seasons of these biblical signs and prophecies that are coming to pass before. Because the Heavenly Father gave these nations a short time word, we got to bring it down. And this is the book of, go down to verse 7. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 7. It says, in a time to reign, in a time to sow, in a time to be silent, in a time to speak. Right? So we're in a time of speaking of biblical signs and prophecies, not going to go on forward, they're going to come to pass fulfilled. This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, in a time to love, in a time of HATE, in a time of war, time of peace. Because we still live in the time of HATE, and we still live in the time of war. Right along with the war, evil, people and investments that we continue to see increasing our world today. So that's going to show forth more. So we're definitely in these modern day times and seasons that purpose ahead. These war investments and these prophecies that still going to come to pass and fulfill. And this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 6. It says, I had set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day or night. He that make mention of the Heavenly Father, how cannot thy silence? Right, so that's why we do these prophecy updates on a day-to-day basis. Right on with the elders and apostles of occupying prophecies, measuring time, vision, so we're looking at times and times. That's why we shout the spirit of us on a day-to-day basis to occupying prophecies. And we understand things around us, but we definitely continue to be occupying prophecies and measuring the time diligently. So Isaiah chapter 62, verse 7, it says, and give him no rest until he establishes and make Jerusalem in the praise of earth. And so we're going to continue to make mention of the Heavenly Father until he establishes and make Jerusalem in the praise of earth. So with that, this was just a quick prophecy update. And so we're definitely continue to keep our eye on that situation over there in the Strait of Hormuz. And then this negotiation talk supposedly between Iran and the United States. How the way things are looking right now, seem like Iran might not be involved in those talks. They might not head back over there to Pakistan for the second round of talks. So all these proposals Donald Trump is going to do, the most likely scenario, it seems like Iran is not going to agree upon it, And so while these prophecies are unfolding, and these prophecies, they still going to come to pass and be fulfilled. So with that, as I mentioned again, this was just a quick prophecy update as of April the 20th, 2026 on this Monday afternoon. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. With that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to say Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Gospel of the Holy Tongue. And I say Barak Adam to the elders and apostles, Akim, Akwaf. Until next time, I will say, Poor Man, Robert, and the Ball, Shalom.